Hello, it is Monday and it is the final Monday in May, which means it is time for me to talk about my May favourites. How has your May been? Mine's been pretty good. The weather's been improving, which is important to me, as you may know if you have watched my videos at this time of year before, because I go on about the weather quite a lot. It's been a very productive month, I've got a lot done, I am excited for the summer. It's all good. So favourites, let's start with TV shows, because this is the one where I kind of just list things for a while instead of actually telling you a favourite. What have I enjoyed this month? I've already talked about my newfound love of Mr. Robot, which I discovered a couple of weeks ago. Peaky Blinders has just returned and that is just my favourite show. The first couple of episodes I wouldn't say I was particularly excited about. I wouldn't say I was disappointed, but more that towards the end of the last series, everything was going on and it was really exciting and there was so much great stuff. And at the start of Series 3 it kind of just settled down a bit. But now, as we might expect with Peaky Blinders, the drama has really cranked up a gear. Paddy Considine is a great villain. Cillian Murphy's acting in the last episode especially has been exemplary. It feels like there are more female characters this year and they're having more to do. And Tom Hardy is back next week. What more could I want? Hinterland has been on BBC 4 recently. I love that show. It's quite an unusual show in that every episode has two different versions. There is a Welsh language version and there is a bilingual English and Welsh language version. I in England only have access to the latter and I really want to see the full Welsh language version. But I love the show anyway, it's very atmospheric and it's beautifully filmed. I have been impressed with this series of The Hollow Crown, which was Henry VI Part 1 and 2 and Richard III. The Henry VI plays are my favourite histories and I thought they were done well. I was really impressed with Richard III. Also there is a new comedy on Friday nights called Love Nina, which stars Faye Marsay and Helena Bonham Carter. I'm enjoying it so far, there's only been a couple of episodes, so I'd recommend looking that up if you fancy it. Okay, a film, my favourite film this month is Pacific Rim, which I watched last week. I enjoyed it, it was a lot of fun, it was exciting, I liked the characters, I liked the overall premise, Idris Elba was brilliant. I also watched Gravity this month for the first time, and I didn't get on that well with it, and I was surprised that I didn't get on that well with it, because on paper I would have thought it would be right up my street, but I just never got into it. So an album is my next category. Yesterday, in fact, I found myself listening to the original cast album of Something Rotten. This is a Broadway musical. It is set in the 1590s and it is about the Bottom brothers who are trying to compete with William Shakespeare in the theatrical world and decide to do this by making a musical. It's very funny. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm not a big fan at all of listening to cast albums when I haven't seen the show. You don't get the full experience of the show. And then if you do ever get to see the show live, you kind of ruin that experience of seeing the show for the first time because you kind of already know what's happening and you know the songs. The first time I have ever broken this rule is with the Hamilton cast album because there was just no way I was going to get to see it and I really wanted to experience this show. And now the second time I have broken this rule is with Something Rotten. I think I'm just going to end up continually breaking this rule because it seems like there are so many great shows on Broadway right now which aren't here. But yeah, I recommend this album. I wish I could see the show. My favourite song from it is a musical, which is just very funny, and there are a lot of great references. I would recommend that if you were going to listen to the album before you see the show, that you read a synopsis first, because I was a bit confused until I did that. So let's stay with musicals for a bit. My favourite live show this month was Funny Girl. This was at the Savoy Theatre and it starred Sheridan Smith and Darius Campbell. I really loved the show. I enjoyed it more than Gypsy and Gypsy was great. It was very funny and Sheridan Smith was amazing. That was a really difficult, taxing role and she was so good. And now finally my favourite purchase this month. Of course it is these pop figures which I bought last week. I'm obsessed with fictional characters, it's a problem. So anyway, these are my favourite things from this month. I wonder what my favourite things will be in June. I would love to know what some of your favourite things are from May, either in the categories that I use or just things that you like. I hope you have a great end of May and a great start of June. This week I go back to working part-time, which is bad in several ways, but it is good in the way that hopefully my upload schedule should go back to kind of normal. Maybe give me a couple of weeks. But yeah, hopefully my next video will be on Friday, so I will see you then.